So the story today which I'll be sharing is why Gautama Buddha sent a monk to a prostitute. So before I start the story off, Pranam, Namaste, my name is Garret. My mission as a life coach is to help people realize their infinite potential by tapping into spirituality, the law of attraction, and Fengshui. I'm very blessed to be trained under a Himalayan yogi who's taught me the ways of the yogic teachings as well as spirituality, which is the whole umbrella of life. So before I start the story off, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe, and comment your learnings in the comment section below. I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to spread more light and positivity out there to the world. And I'm also happy to find out where you guys are tuning in from, yeah? And we could actually connect in this space. Okay, so without further ado, let's head into the story. So in the past, right, Buddha and his sannyasis, right, which is his monks, would usually travel by foot to different villages, okay? And Buddha himself set this regulation that all his monks can only stay in the specific town for only a month or at most up to 1.5 months, okay, on usual occasions and usual seasons. However, on monsoon seasons, their monks can actually stay in that specific place or town for only up to 2 to 2.5 months because of the monsoon. Is very dangerous to walk in the jungle, and a lot of people has lost their life during this period and walking in this jungle. So Buddha has set this rule, okay? So he also mentioned that during this period of stay in that town, all the monks can go and gather alms, right, from respective homes, and they can stay in respective homes for only up to 3 days. So in these 3 days, basically 2 nights, right? So during these 3 days, they would only be able to bother these homeowners, okay? And anything more than 3 days, it will be too much of a bother or burdensome to these homeowners, okay? So that is the regulations that Buddha himself set, okay? So at that time, all the monks under Buddha all went out to gather for alms, right? So one of his disciples, Ananda Tirtha, okay, or basically Ananda, who is also Gautama Buddha's elder brother before monkhood, okay? So he was, if any one of you have heard about Ananda, is that he is a very tall and handsome man, okay? And in fact, he's one of the most handsome among all of Buddha's disciples, okay? So he went out to gather alms, okay? And when he went to gather alms, he found specifically a house by a prostitute, okay? The prostitute opened up the doors and she offered Ananda alms, okay? So Ananda gladly accepted the alms, and straight away she told him, I heard that there's a group of monks who wants to look for homestay. Why not you stay in my house? Okay, so Ananda, before he accepted, he responded this. He said that I could definitely stay in your place. However, I need to ask for permission with Buddha. Okay, so she got a little bit annoyed. So she responded, so you need to ask your guru? So Ananda just responded saying, no, this is just a normal process. Before we stay in somebody's house, we need to inform Buddha, okay? So the prostitute mentioned, fine, then just go and ask Buddha before you could come and stay, okay? So Ananda brought his alms back to Buddha, and Buddha was just sitting there, okay? He was just sitting there, and Ananda just brought his alms and put it under Buddha's feet, okay? And he reported everything to Buddha. So Buddha mentioned, he told Buddha, so there was this lady, this prostitute, who offered to let me stay at her house. He asked Buddha, is it okay? So Buddha mentioned and responded saying, fine, since she has gladly and affectionately invited you to stay in her house, why not just go for it? So immediately Ananda just said, okay, fine. So Ananda left. Then immediately all of the townsmen and all the disciples, all the monks were very angry. They heard this thing and they stood up and they got very upset. They say that this is, what kind of nonsense is this? This spiritual path has become corrupted. So immediately Buddha stopped them, saying, this path of what I am doing right now is the truth, and I believe that whatever I am practicing at this point is the most powerful way of living. If you believe that her way is more powerful than mine, then I would gladly also go and join her. So everyone of course got even more upset. Okay, so it's understandable that a lot of them, together with certain monks, all left, okay, because they felt that Buddha's way was already corrupted, because he allowed Ananda to go stay in the prostitute's home. Okay, so 3 days, right? So Ananda brought his alms bowl and went into the prostitute's home. So immediately when the prostitute opened the door, okay, and it was raining, right? So she offered she saw Ananda wearing just a thin yellow robe. So it was cold. So definitely Ananda would feel cold, right? So immediately the prostitute offered him to wrap him with a nice satin robe, so to keep him warm. So immediately they saw him being wrapped and they said that, oh my god, this is it, he's finished. Okay, so when he left, he entered the house of the prostitute. She offered to cook Ananda a wonderful meal. Okay, she offered to cook Ananda a good meal to eat. Okay, so Ananda just gladly accepted to eat the food. So at night, music started to come out from her house, and she offered to dance for Ananda. So Ananda just sat there and watched very carefully and cautiously, just watched her dance. Okay, so at that point, all the monks and all the townsmen, right, all went to inspect and wanted to report this news back to the Buddha. Okay, so they all went there and heard all the music, and they were like, oh my god, this man is finished. Okay, so they went back and reported this to Buddha. Then on the second night, this time round, they inspected again, and they heard even more music and more noise, and this time they heard Ananda also singing along with the music, and they say, oh my god, this man has gone. He's gone already. Okay, so after the whole entire stay, after the 3 days are over, after the second night, okay, this time around Ananda went back to Buddha, and along the journey they realized that there was another female monk behind Ananda. So you see, through this whole understanding of the process, we understand that if the mind has strong willpower and has strong strength, right, the mind can never be influenced by any corruption. Okay, and if your mind is powerful enough, you can even convert the people with corrupted minds. Okay, so in our modern day context, right, the reason why we are able to reach out there to further audience because of technology, which has already benefit us in a lot of generations ahead. And in fact, during the past times, like during Buddha's time, they didn't have technology, and all they did was they speak to audiences just under them. Okay, and they had to travel village to village in order to reach their message out there, the message of truth, of spirituality. Okay, and it was a tough fight for them, because it was just trying to spread more words of truth, and this whole idea of spreading the truth and message out there has already become so much increasingly easy these days because of technology. So instead of just spreading negativity on social medias, instead of just complaining, instead of just venting your frustrations, and instead of just seeking for all the pleasures and all the desires in life, why not also seek truth? Because know this, the way of truth, what most people would ultimately want to seek in the end is because we are naturally drawn to want to seek for the highs in our life. Okay, and many people misunderstood this high because of pleasures and desires. That's why we are always caught in this cycle. You see, if you want to get more highs in this life, you would need to first understand that there can be highs without having all these temptations in your life. There can be highs without getting drunk. There can be highs without getting all the luxuries. There can be highs without getting using of drugs. There can be highs without having to overeat. There can be a lot of highs, you see. So all these highs is gained through truth, okay, the absolute truth, which is to be in the spiritual path. Okay, so with that, I hope you've learned something from this video, and please make sure that to comment your learnings in the comment section below if you did. Okay, remember, the path of the spiritual journey, right, is not easy. However, when you embark on this journey, right, you will gain a lot of valuable life lessons, and this would instantly shift your life, and then you will no longer realize that this is a difficult life, you see, because everything has its lessons, and our life here on earth is for us to always seek for more truth, gain more higher knowledge. That's why Buddha was always confident that he was able to live his life in the most powerful way, because he believed that his right of way, his way is actually the most powerful way to live in, and the most precious way. Okay, so with that, I end off this video. Pranam, namaste.